Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's going to be all about balanced eyebrows. As you can see from this eyebrow, the front is full, pretty good, right? But then the rest of the eyebrow, really thin. My brows have been tattooed a long time ago, so I actually kind of like that now. Well, now. I'm older, I don't have much hair to begin with, and as we age, ladies, we do lose hair. So unfortunately, that is part of aging, right? But there's a lot of other great things that happen. We'll get into that one day, later. So anyway, the brows here, I have put some concealer on to mimic the brow, or at least try to, with the model that I'm going to show you in just a second. So if this is the brow that you need to need help with, then stick around because this is the video for you. So I've been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon. I still shape brows there, and some of you guys have come trusting me with your eyebrows. So thank you, and it's been a pleasure shaping your brows and giving you some tips along the way. So definitely stop by, make your appointment if you're in the neighborhood or if you're close enough by to get the best brow. Okay, so today, like I've said, it's going to be about balanced eyebrows. I think this is a really good video for not just for you, but for anyone that you know that can use this tip. We sometimes hold on to the thickness that we have, and because we want thick eyebrows, right? But then we forget the rest of the eyebrow. And so this one, you're going to clearly see, well, she's got full eyebrows. What's wrong with it? Well, nothing really, but she can use a little bit more balance and make this the tail, the end of the eyebrow, not so thin and short looking. So you guys ready to see the model? Okay, so nice full eyebrows, right? Especially right up in the middle part of her eyebrow. It's really full, and the end, though, you can see is really thin. It's almost like a line, like a pencil thin line, like right here that I showed you guys on me. And so, yeah, it just needs a little bit of balance. I see brows like this, and I know that it's going to be amazing what I do. So the best part about this video is that you will see a little bit of waxing and tweezing. I don't often show that because it's not something that I recommend any of you guys to do because it can be a little tricky. It's not good for your skin if you don't know what you're doing, but you certainly can tweeze your own eyebrows. So if you have this type of eyebrow, I highly recommend to just get rid of a little bit of hair in the area that I'm going to show you today. Or if you have someone around you that you trust in shaping your eyebrows, definitely think about getting that part lifted. So right here, as you can see, I'm waxing the most important area of her brow, which is right below the middle part of that area. So I'm raising the stick, going higher and higher, because that's the area that she does not need hair. So if you have brows like this, as you can see by the mark, the front, she needs it to be a little lower because the front of the eyebrow is a little too high. And the middle part of that line, that's the area that's too low. So now I'm going to wax the brows off, and you're going to see already big difference. And I didn't take that much, but just right at that middle part of the eyebrow. So it looks a little bit on the straight side, which is something that's good for me because my face is a little bit wider. It needs to be a little bit straighter. Her face is not that wide. So this is now where I'm tweezing her brows to give it more of a soft curve underneath. I'm actually not touching anything towards the end of the eyebrow, but it's going to look a little thicker, as you can see right here. Now I'm going to use the highlighter. It's actually a Pro Pencil, an eyeshadow base. You can use this all over your eyelid to prep the lid for some eyeshadow, but I often use it as a highlighter as well. On her, I think I used base 1. On me, I'm going to use base 2. It's a Pro Pencil again, like I said, and I placed it. I'm going to use this as an eraser for myself because I put a little bit of color right here just to kind of exaggerate the bottom. Just right here, I'm lifting, and pretend I'm waxing. Okay, so right here is where the most important area for her and for me is. So if you do this, it just makes such a big difference. Now, I actually put some concealer on top of my eyebrows too. My brows are much fuller and wider and straighter. So I try to make it as close to hers as possible. But you're going to get the idea. So this area right here. So you know what? If you're not sure, this is something you can do, is to put a little highlighter or even a concealer in that little pocket to see if that's the shape you like, to see if that's for you. You are going to find that you can probably get rid of some of that hair. And notice that it's in an angle. I went in an angle. So here I'm using the Brow Wiz, and for her, it's going to be medium brown. And right up at that corner, it's really important also to add some color there, because remember, mine, I just kind of flattened it out just a little bit to show you guys. On her, it's good to add a little bit of height over to that arch area, which is the pinch of the nose over the iris or pupil. But I always say iris because I like it closer to the outside. That is your arch right over there. So I placed a little bit of color, as I'm going to show you right now, on me, just right at that tip, right at that corner. And I'm kind of doing this little half moon or like a C kind of motion, just right at that tip, and going higher and higher. And that's it. See, notice how it went a little higher. Here's also a very important area. I pushed her head over to the side so I can show you that I'm really going on the outside there, because her ends go flat down. It doesn't go out towards like giving a brow lift. So it's very important if you just go on the outside of that end. If you get up close to me, I'm going right outside that tail. Not on the tail yet, but mostly on the outside. By just doing this, I promise you, you'll get more of that lift. And it actually looks more natural if you're putting color on your eyebrows. It doesn't look so heavily drawn because you're putting behind that tail. Okay, so that's a very important habit to do. It really makes a big difference. And if your brows already go up high, obviously you don't need to do that. But in her case, her ends were going straight down. So that's why I put some color on the outside area. So try that out. It makes such a big difference. So if nothing else, try that little area and see if the whole brow changes. Because I show this to my clients and they're like, I would have never thought of that. So I always say outside. Think of outside and up. Makes such a big difference. Now here I am now going inside the eyebrows, because you still want some color throughout the brow, just to add that balance. It's all about blending and balance. Key things to know when you're shaping or filling your eyebrows. So this is where, now it's still nice and curved, right? It fits her face. Trust me, if you see. Now, I've often been asked, why isn't her eyes open? So I know where the measurements are. It's really to just kind of protect their identity, really, and just because they prefer their eyes closed. They don't want their whole face to be shown, which is why I'm just showing the brow mainly. So hopefully you'll still get something out of it, right? Okay, so nice and curved. On me, it's always going to be a little bit straighter. Hers curved, but more on the outside. If I curved it up and down below and didn't bother putting color on the outside, it just would make her eyes too small, her eyelid, and just kind of makes it more sad looking without that brow lift. So keep that in mind as well. So just a tiny bit on the brow here makes a big difference. Now up in the front, you notice that I placed a little, I'm using the brush 18, the famous brush 18. I used a tiny bit here, just a little bit, just to move the Pro Pencil, the highlighter, around. I always love that brush just to clean anything up. And up in the front, if you don't want to put that much color up in the front, which you don't need, just by doing a little bit of highlighter up in the front and this brush, if you just comb it right through, meaning brush it right through, it actually makes a big difference. For me, I need a little bit of fuller up in the front. So okay, and you're going to have to excuse how crazy my brows are going to look. Darker, the color is going to be off because I have that concealer underneath. So I just want you to see me holding these products. Now, here I'm using the brow gel. Remember, she had a nice full eyebrow. So the brow gel is so important. It's kicking the hair up, adding to that fullness. It also helps to keep the color on much longer. So definitely get in the habit of that. And when you put the brow gel and the hair moves around and combs up, you will see some gaps here and there. You just go back and fill it in with the pencil. I'm making some adjustments on my eyebrow. Look at this before and after. Small little area that I waxed and tweezed off, and makes such a big difference. Wouldn't you agree? I love this brow shape, and the ends does not look thin anymore, of course, because we put some color on there, but it doesn't look so exaggerated. And the key thing to remember also is that you see her hair. I don't like to see a lot of pencil. Well, On me, it's a little different, so don't judge me on my eyebrow, but I like to be able to see the hair come through. So that's really important. So that's why you don't want to dominate your brows with so much color that you don't see your own hair. Now, most of us, most of you guys probably have a lot more hair than I do. Trust me, I have very little hair. This is mostly all tattoo, and I tattooed because I didn't have much to begin with. So some of you guys have asked me, why even go that route? Well, I did because, again, I just had a tiny little bit of hair up in the front, and that's it. So that was my decision. It's not for everybody. So, and I do have that tattoo pros and cons. If you want to scroll down, I talk about that as well. So good. Again, I can't talk enough about before and after. I mean, who doesn't like before and afters, right? So this is the best tip I have. If you guys found this tip to be useful, please pass this along with anyone you know can use this tip. If you have friends and family that have this type of eyebrow or needs more brow tip, please pass along my page so that they can get some tips as well. And so thank you for sticking around, and give me some comments if you like this video, if you've gotten something out of it. This also helps me to get better at what I do. And I thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys right back here. Thank you.